Hey guys, it's Brian. We're back here at the Frostbite JL, and today in the garage we're going to be putting on a new steering stabilizer. Let's go take a look. Alright guys, this is what we're throwing on. It's going to be the Fox Performance Series 2.0 through shaft stabilizer. I did pick this up used from a guy off Instagram, Hot Carl Adventures. He's got a pretty cool Jeep if you want to go check it out. He did go to a full hydro or assist, so we're going to throw this on the Jeep and see if it makes a difference. Alright guys, this is what we're replacing. This is going to be the Synergy relocation bracket for their tie rod, and then I've also got their track bar bolt, same as what came with the new Fox TS stabilizer. So we're going to go ahead and pull this old one off, and then we'll go ahead and get the Fox one on. Should be pretty easy. Alright, and for removing this old one, we're going to use a 7/32 Allen to pull those bolts off, and then a 19mm for the top there. Okay, so I'm going to start by pulling that 19mm off the factory stabilizer here, and then it also takes a 5mm Allen to get that Synergy track bar bolt out there. So we'll take those out, and then we can pull this old stabilizer off and start getting the Fox one on. We do need to pull that clamp as well. Alright, and if you guys are running the same setup with the factory stabilizer, the washers they provide are a little too thin. I did have some up and down play in here, so I did go ahead and stack them and then get a little bit thicker grade 8 washer there for you. That went ahead and took up the space without the screw bottoming out on the tie rod. So something to take note if you guys are running this setup. So let's go ahead and we'll pull this off and we'll disconnect it here, and then we can start getting that Fox one on. Alright guys, we're running into a little bit of a snag with this bolt here, this button head bolt. It did kind of strip out on us when we tried to remove it. We were using the correct size Allen, and it looks like it just kind of rounded out. I didn't use Loctite on this or anything when I put it together, so I don't know why it's not coming out for us, but we do have a new bolt, new track bar bolt that came with my stabilizer, so we're just going to pull the whole thing out with a 21mm open and just swap this out. Alright guys, let's get at it. Alright guys, we finally got that out. We just used an open end to get that off the track bar bolt. This is going to be the problem area. This is the stripped out Allen. I didn't Loctite this or anything, and I did torque it to spec, so I'm not quite sure why it's stuck in there. Probably just corroded a little bit. So we're just going to go ahead and use my new bolt that I got with the stabilizer, and we'll throw that new Fox stabilizer on. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get that bolt on there that came with the new Fox stabilizer. Did put some blue Loctite on there. Do you want to reuse your flag nut here? I'm going to go through the top with this just so it's not hanging down. Thankfully, I got a new Synergy bolt with that stabilizer I picked up. So I'll go ahead and drill out that other one so I can reuse that factory stabilizer for something else or resell it and keep it for a spare. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll get this guy torqued down to 125. We'll remove the clamp, the Synergy clamp, and we can put that new stabilizer on. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and throw that Fox one on now that we got that torqued down. So this end will slide over like that, and then this end just sits right here on the Synergy tie rod. This is the specific 1.5 inch diameter for this tie rod. So if you guys have a factory setup, it goes underneath the tie rod and it'll come with a little bracket. I'll put links to these down below. Well, we're going to go ahead and we'll use a 3/16 Allen, and we'll get this guy tightened down where it needs to be and get that button head on there. I'm not going to do that button head super tight just so we don't run into that issue again with it not coming off. Alright, here we go. Alright, and this one is going to be different than the one we were taking off. This one's going to be a 5mm. So we'll get this on here. And these are torqued to about 20 foot-pounds. I'm just going to get it good and tight by hand. Now let's go ahead and we'll work on getting the clamp on here. Okay guys, that's what it's going to look like in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have my helper hop in the Jeep and turn the steering wheel all the way passenger, And then we're going to collapse this stabilizer till there's about a 1/4 inch gap at the end. And then I'm going to mark it on the tie rod, and that's where we'll clamp it down. You want to do that so you make sure you're not bottoming out or overextending your stabilizer when you're going full lock to lock, but we'll double check it when we're all done. This stabilizer is specifically for the JL, so it should be the right length for us. So now we got our position marked, we can go ahead and straighten the wheel back out and we can get this guy tightened down. You do want to be careful not to bind this too much. If you are cranking it forward like this, it is going to bind, so you want to bring it back to about there where it's neutral. We'll go ahead and get this torqued on and we should be all set. Alright, so once you go ahead and find your position you like, you want to take your 3/16 Allen, we're going to torque these guys down. I'm just going to run this until this stops, usually gets at about 40 or 50-ish foot-pounds. That's about what it calls for on the Synergy. So we'll go ahead and we'll tighten this down. You do want to check clearance with your drag link and your track bar. You want to make sure it's not going to interfere with anything. And then also your diff cover. These aftermarket diff covers are pretty large and they stick out a bit more. So you just want to check your clearances on all these. So let's go ahead and we'll run these on. We'll go full lock to lock both ways and then we should be all done. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the Fox Performance 2.0 TS stabilizer install. It was pretty easy. It'd probably only take you about 20 minutes if you didn't run into any problems. We did have to go ahead and remove that track bar bolt just because of that button head. You do want to make sure you use the right size Allen and don't over torque it. But it's pretty easy. Alright guys, go ahead and like the video and subscribe and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks guys.